Hello YouTube, it's Akash on Jenny Akash videos with an episode on neural control and coordination. So this is a chapter from class 11 NCERT biology. So first of all, you have to understand what is coordination. See, coordination is a process through which two or more organs interact. So interact and complement their functions. Okay, so they complement their functions also. Then we come to an example like in physical exercise. Whenever we are exercising, the body needs more energy, so it will be needing more oxygen. So lung will be respiring more and the heart will be pumping more. So this is a combined effort of all the organs like nerves, lungs, heart, kidney gradually work together actually. So we get a combined effort from them. And an important line have been given here that the neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and integrate all the activities. So they act complementary to each other actually. So they complement the activities. So it's an important line. Now in this chapter, today we'll be discussing actually the nervous system or neural system actually. So first of all, coming to the neural system, we find the word neuron. So it is the functional unit of the nervous system. Okay, like in case of the renal system or kidney, that nephron is the basic unit, but here neuron is the basic unit. So we find few words like detect, receive, and transmit. You have to understand this thing clearly first of all. See, I'm drawing a neuron. See, this is the cell body of the neuron. This is the axon. We denote it like this, and this is the axon now. So I write it. This is the cell body. This is the axon. This is the synaptic knob. Okay, so this is the basic structure. Now in the cell body there are many dendrites present. So the detection or the receiving part is actually done by these dendrites. Okay, this is done by dendrites. They receive the information actually. The information, the electrical information is received by the dendrites, but the transmission part is mainly by the axon. So how I will demonstrate it. See how I am demonstrating. First of all, an electrical impulse come into the dendrite. It is transmitted through the axon, okay, and then it moves on to a new neuron that is present caudal to it, okay, present below it. Okay, so these are the dendrites. So dendrites receive the information. Are you understanding the thing? Dendrites receive the information from the axon and it transmit it to its own axon. Okay, this is the basic thing. Thus a chain of neurons help to transmit information. So this was the basic thing. Now coming to the next part, that the example have been given actually, that the neural organization is very simple in case of the lower invertebrates, right? For example, in case of the hydra, so it can be an important question. Hydra, it is composed of a network of neurons. Then question will be asked, which of the following organism, the neural system is made up of a network of neurons? So answer will be hydra. So as you grow up along the go up along the hierarchy, you will find that the more the developed the organism, more developed will be the neural system. Right? In case of the insect, we can find the ganglions and the neural tissue. But in case of the vertebrates, the neural system is much more developed, and we find the brain, the cerebrum, and yes, the cerebrum is much more developed in humans than the lower vertebrates. So we have gotten basic orientation. Now we have to understand what the term ganglia mean. Ganglia or ganglion. Ganglion is the singular term for the ganglia. Now we see that we represent the neurons in this form, right? So let us assume there are many neurons present, okay, in series. So we find that a number of cell bodies are present, right? A number of cell bodies are collecting in a part. So the collection of cell body is called ganglion. Have you understand this thing? This collection of cell body. This is cell body. This is cell body. This is cell body. This is cell body. There are 4 cell bodies. So a collection of cell body is called ganglion. I hope it is clear to you. Another term used for this ganglion is nucleus. The collection. Nucleus. It is not the nucleus that is present inside the cell. It is the collection of cell bodies. But there is a difference between these two terms. What is the difference? The ganglion is the collection of cell body, and nucleus is also the collection of cell body. But nucleus is present within the CNS. So it is present within CNS. But ganglion, sorry. So it is present within the CNS. But in case of the ganglion, it is present outside the CNS. So you understand this thing? It is present outside CNS. So it is present outside CNS. Now the question may be what this term CNS means. So ganglion is present outside the CNS and nucleus is present within CNS. Now what is the CNS is? So we'll understand it in the subsequent part. See, the human neural system is divided into 2 parts mainly. First part is called the CNS, the central nervous system, then the peripheral nervous system. So CNS is nothing but spinal cord plus the brain. So it is the combination of brain and spinal cord, right? These two compromises the CNS. Anything outside the brain and spinal cord that include the neurons or the nerves present in our body compromises the peripheral neural system. So you can see this thing written in the next part. See, the PNS comprises of all the nerves in the body, any nerves outside the brain and the spinal cord. So then the nerve fibers of the PNS are of 2 types. It can be afferent. Afferent means anything that is coming into, and efferent means that is going out. So how will you remember it? See, it is the brain. So anything moving away from the brain is called the efferent. This is moving away, is efferent. but coming into brain, it's called the afferent, right? So from this it is clear to us that afferent is nothing but this is the sensory part. Brain senses through the afferent part, but efferent is the part which is the motor part. Brain controls the body's activity through this motor part. So efferent is motor, but afferent is sensory. So once we get it, now it is clear that nerve fibers are of two types mainly. This is efferent and afferent. Now the afferent nerve fibers transmit information from tissue to the organ, tissues or organs to the CNS, but efferent moves the information from CNS to the peripheral tissue. Now the PNS can also be divided into two other categories mainly. So these categories are the somatic neural system and the autonomic neural system. Okay. So the somatic neural system relays impulses from the CNS to the skeletal muscle. Somatic. So we know two kinds of muscles mainly. So there are skeletal muscle, right? And yes, so this will be taken care of by the somatic neural system. But speaking of about the autonomic nervous system, it is taking care of the which you know as the smooth muscles, right? So smooth muscles. Then there is the cardiac muscle. And yes, then there are the visceral organs. See, these three things are not in our direct control, okay? So they are controlled mainly by the autonomic nervous systems present in our body. So this autonomic nervous system is controlling these parts. So this autonomic nervous system actually has two further divisions. This is the sympathetic neural system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so we'll understand this thing that the sympathetic and parasympathetic, these two will be discussed right now. That the sympathetic is nothing but, see, it is actually the thing that is the system that is activated when we are excited. So it is excited state, okay? But parasympathetic is something that is mainly about when we are normal, we are in our normal activity level. Okay, so we are not excited, we are normal. Okay, in the normal body system it is activated, it remains activated actually. So coming to the thing that sympathetic, the neurotransmitters present mainly is the norepinephrine, right? It is the main neurotransmitter, though epinephrine, dopamine, serotonin may also be present, but norepinephrine is the main neurotransmitter. But in case is the main neurotransmitter actually. So I write it acetylcholine. So this is the main neurotransmitter. So we will understand this thing in another video. Actually, we will describe the sympathetic and parasympathetic system. But from the basic knowledge, you should be knowing that these are the main neurotransmitters present in these systems. And see what the sympathetic system does. Actually, you can remember it like that. The function of sympathetic is to suppress. Its action is to suppress. Okay, action is to suppress. Parasympathetic, its action is to increase. Okay, stimulate actually. Parasympathetic action is to stimulate. You remember it? Stimulate. Stimulate. See, it was normal, but its action is to stimulate. So stimulate means, but there's an exception. See, you will find that this doesn't hold in case of the CVS. That is the CVS. In case of CVS, it is opposite. In case of CVS, it is opposite. So we'll be discussing in another video. So how it is opposite. You'll understand this in the video. Okay. Now talking about the basic structural unit, that is the neuron. Okay. So discussing the neuron, we find that it has got a cell body, it has got dendrite and axon. So the cell body contains cytoplasm. We know cell body is the part containing cytoplasm, and a substance, a granular body called the Nissl body is also, Nissl granules is also present. Now small fibers that project from the cell body is called the dendrites. Okay, it's called the dendrites. So they also contain the Nissl body. So we have to understand that Nissl granules are also present in the dendrites. It's an important line. It can be an important MCQ. Okay, so we have to understand this thing. So it can be an important MCQ. Now coming to the further down, we find that this is the dendrite, this is the Nissl granules present both in the dendrites and the both in the dendrites and also in the cell body also. So in the cell body also contains this the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Now we come to two or three things that what is the synaptic knob. So synaptic knob is nothing but bulb-shaped structure present in the end of the axon. See, this long thing is the axon. This long thing is the axon, and you can appreciate that some kind of cells, Schwann cells are present here. So what are these Schwann cells? And then again, see the long axon passing all along this part. So this is the axon. Okay, so now we will understand this thing, that the two or three things like Schwann. What is Schwann cell? What is this myelin sheath? What is this node of Ranvier? These Schwann cells are nothing actually. They are the cells actually. Like you assume it is the axon. I am taking the cross section from this part, and let's assume this is the axon. So there was a cell. You assume there was a cell in this formation, and it had a nucleus in it. Okay, right. Now you assume that it gradually started recoiling over itself, right? So if it is the axon, now the cell started recoiling over itself. Okay, so you can appreciate that the cell starting to recoil on itself and further recoiling, as I've seen, the cytoplasm to get extinct. Okay, so the cytoplasm, there will be no cytoplasm present. Ultimately what will be formed is that if it is the axon, and the cell surrounding the axon will almost appear something like this, right? See, it is almost appearing like only membranes are present, nothing else, but a nucleus is present at one end. So this is what a Schwann cell is. Schwann cell is nothing but the membrane of the cell and nucleus actually, because cytoplasm is almost absent, almost nil. So this is the Schwann cell. Now the Schwann cells, there are many Schwann cells along the neuron. So if it is the first, this is second, this is the third, this is the fourth, this is the fifth. There are 5 Schwann cells present along the neuron, and see the gap between these 2 Schwann cells is not known as the node of Reinbeers. Okay, if it is clear to you now, you can see this myelin sheaths are nothing but the formations that are formed due to the membranes of the Schwann cell. Okay, the membranes of the Schwann cell is called the myelin sheath. Okay, so you can understand this is full of the fatty tissue. So it is also only written, or it is written here clearly that there are two kinds of nerve fibers or myelin axons. This can be myelinated or non-myelinated. So I have made you understand all these things. Now this myelination are enveloped with this myelinated nerve fibers are enveloped with the Schwann cells. So as I've said it right now, and the gap between them is called the node of Reinbeer. Now then, unmyelinated nerve fiber is enclosed by Schwann cell that does not form myelin sheath around the axon. Okay, so unmyelinated nerve fibers are those where the Schwann cell doesn't form a myelin sheath around them. So it's commonly found in the autonomous and the somatic neural system. So this can also be an important MCQ where this kind of unmyelinated nerve fibers are found. So it can be found in the somatic neural system and the autonomous neural system. We'll see this thing in details in our later part. But what we have to understand that there are different types of neuron based on the processes coming on. So there are two kind of processes. If you understand that there are 2 kind of processes, it can be an axon or dendrite. So these process, according to these processes, it can be divided into that multipolar, means there are a single axon, there is a single axon. You can see the diagram actually, there is a single axon and multiple dendrites. Okay, so this is called multipolar. It is very common. It is actually present in the cerebral cortex. It is the part where the whole body is represented. Yes, we'll discuss it in the later part. Now in case of the bipolar, what is the thing? In bipolar there is a dendrite and there is an axon. It's clear to you now. Where is it present? See, it can be an important MCQ because it is found in the retina. The bipolar cells in the retina are very much important to transmit the light signal into electrical signal. Now coming to the unipolar cells, the cell bodies with only one axon only. So it is a premature, you can actually, it's a very premature thing. So it is present only in the embryonic stage, because in generally one neuron has to function to get the information and then transmit it. But if it has only one it has only one process, then how can it get the information? It will not get the information, so we cannot transmit it. So it is not a complete neuron. A neuron gets complete when it has both the processes. Now to understand the thing that there is another kind of axon, that is the pseudo unipolar axon, where the cell body is present in this way. Okay, this is the cell body, this is a common part. This is a common process which have got divided into 2 branches. See, okay, so it have got 2 axons, 2 axonal processes. So such kind of structure is called the pseudo unipolar. So it is generally present in case of the sensory neurons in human, sensory neurons. Okay, I will give this example in the next video, because while discussing the reflex arc, we will be understanding the sensory neurons and the motory neurons in more details. So hope you liked my video, and you will subscribe my channel, and yes, you will share with your friends and make us or help us to grow. Thanks for watching.